Hey guys, what's going on? It's Austin here. I'm really excited about this video. It's going to be a little different than the videos that I normally make, which are about specific AI integrations or high-level topics. This one is going to be a step-by-step process on how you can become an AI integrator in 2023. I equate this role, it's emerging as we speak, but I equate this role a lot like becoming a web developer in the early 2000s. And in this video, it's going to go literally step by step through the skills needed and then how you can actually get your first client as an AI integrator. And these are skills that I've accumulated over the years and used to make over 50K a month. And so for this video, I highly suggest that you put your phone away, you put it on do not disturb, you close all your tabs, and you pay close attention, because if you're somebody who's looking to capitalize on the AI revolution, you don't want your job to be replaced by AI. Instead, you would rather actually monetize from this change that's happening in real time, then you will be able to get a ton of value out of this. Now, with that, right, if you're a person who's just looking to get rich quick, or you're not really interested in working for or working with cutting edge technology, this probably isn't for you. But there was a lot of work that went into putting this together in this format to provide this much concrete value. And if you're paying close attention after this, you're going to be able to walk away and implement all the things that are discussed and capitalize immediately. So without further ado, let's just dive right into it. As I touched on, this is about how to become an in-demand AI integrator and make 5 to 15K a month in the next 90 days. This is a step-by-step guide. So my name is Austin, owner of AI Academy, and this document, I'm going to be breaking down how to make 5 to 15K a month as a remote AI integrator in the next 90 days. And you don't need any previous technical skills or knowledge. Before we dive into this training, we need to go over what an AI integrator actually is, because the chances are I'm the first person you've heard talking about this. Ever since the release of ChatGPT, the market has been swarmed with new AI solutions across every single industry, right? You have copyright AI solutions, you have AI editing tools, you have design tools that are fully powered by AI, all of which allow businesses to become 10x more efficient. So businesses who are able to integrate AI into their operations will need less employees, be able to complete tasks faster, and become more profitable. This shift that's occurring is equivalent of the early 2000s, when the internet as we know it was released and businesses began to integrate Google, websites, email into their operations. Businesses who didn't quickly adapt were left in the dust and crushed by all their competitors who adapted this new technology. The exact same thing is happening now. Every business knows they desperately need to integrate AI into their business if they want to be successful. However, most of them have no idea how to do it. So anyone who's able to solve this extremely big problem for them will get paid a lot of money. And that's where AI integrators come in. So an AI integrator is a sole operator that know how to integrate AI and automations into businesses to make them more efficient, help them reduce costs, and become more profitable. Think of this role as the equivalent of web developers in the early 2000s. Every single business desperately needed them, as they were the life raft for the sinking ship that was physical commerce. That is the role that AI integrators play in the new age of the internet, and they possess the single most valuable skill on the market. Over the course of this training, I'm going to show you the exact skills you'll need to learn to become one, and how you can use these skills to serve businesses and make hundreds of thousands of dollars. For this video, I highly suggest that you put your phone in the other room, you close all tabs, you block out any distractions, because this is going to be jam-packed with value and things that you can take away immediately. If you have a hoodie on, maybe even you throw up the hood. Let's have some fun. Now, by the end of this, you'll know exactly how you can make 5 to 15K a month as an AI integrator in the next 90 days. And unfortunately or fortunately, I've been spending the last 5 years of my life struggling through all of this so that you don't have to. Now that we've gotten all that away, let me tell you who this training is for. If you're looking to make 5 to 15K a month in the next 90 days, this is for you. If you're tired of washed out business models like drop shipping, this is for you. If you're scared that AI is going to replace you at your current job and you don't want to sit around and wait for that to happen, but instead you would rather get ahead of the crowd and capitalize on the revolution, this is for you. And if you're tired of working a 9 to 5 and want to become your own boss, this is for you. But it's also just as important to know who this is not for. If you're looking to get get quick cash and you want to get rich quick scheme, this isn't for you. If you aren't willing to put in the effort to learn a new age skill and learning about AI and cutting edge technology doesn't interest you, this is not for you. And if you don't have an interest working with 7 and 8 figure businesses, this isn't for you. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, well, Austin, I'm not very technical. I don't know how to code. I don't know if I can do this. Now, this is one of the biggest misconceptions I see when they get introduced to AI is they think they need to be a tech whiz or they need to know how to write code and do all sorts of advanced programming. However, this actually couldn't be farther from the truth. You can become an AI integrator without already being a programmer or being technical in any capacity. You don't need to be a genius, and you don't need to spend hundreds of hours learning the skills needed to become an AI integrator. These are the 3 things that you need to understand. You need to understand how to quickly learn the fundamental skills and truly provide value for businesses, identify core problems and bottlenecks in businesses that are worth solving, and go out and find businesses to help with your new skills. There's no such thing as someone who is technical or someone who is an entrepreneur. I literally never went to school for anything technical and pretty much failed any coding exam I ever took. Major universities, they're going to tell you that you need a degree in this, but clearly I was able to make high 6 figures using these skills, so you do not. In this breakdown, we're going to go over exactly one, how to navigate around the issues we mentioned above, how I was able to go from 0 to well over 50K a month, integrating AI and automated systems into businesses, how you can make 5 to 15K per month as an AI integrator in the next 90 days, and work remotely, how to do this all without having any previous technical experience. Okay, great. Now, before we dive in, a little background as to how I got here. Now, before COVID, I went into the office every day and tirelessly worked at one of the biggest banks in the world and helped other people make more money. Once COVID hit, I started to work from home and decided I wanted to never go into an office again because, frankly, the rat race was brutal. I just didn't want to do it. I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going into the office again. So then I spent 2 years volunteering to work with top technical professionals to help build AI apps for free to learn the skills necessary to start a business on my own. While people were binge watching Netflix, I spent every hour of my day juggling through resources and surrounding myself with industry experts to learn skills needed to build. After that, I found my first client who I refused to not get results for. I built an automated system for them. They were so happy with it, they referred me to another 6 figure client. Then I built an automated data capture tool for a $100 million investment fund. Here's just a little screenshot of what that looks like. After that, I started getting more clients, specifically a lot of Web3 companies, getting paid high 5 figures for single builds. Then from there, I was able to continue to get more and more clients, and eventually I was making over 50K a month. Eventually, I quit my job and I traveled across the world. That was very fun. Now, as I was building and integrating AI and systems, people started asking me how I was doing it. As a result of my experience learning AI and automated systems without ever going through formal schooling and using these skills to work with 8 figure businesses and generate upwards of 50K a month doing so, I didn't have the luxury of learning the skill in 4 years of college surrounded by trained professionals, and neither do you. So everything you learn in this video will be extremely tangible and actionable in the real world. So in order for you to make 5 to 15K a month as an AI integrator, you need to follow this 3-step process. 1, learn how to use AI and build automations. 2, learn how to identify bottlenecks in businesses that can be solved with AI and automations. And 3, going out and finding businesses that will pay you to solve their bottlenecks. And each of these 3 steps can be brutally hard or very straightforward. And personally, I had to struggle through each of them to understand how to make it very straightforward. Let's go one by one through each of these. Step 1, learning how to use AI and build automations. When becoming an AI integrator, the space is rapidly changing, and it's so quickly that you have no idea where to look. You Google one skill, you find 100 tutorial videos. It's half the concepts that you wanted, and they expect you to understand half the information already. You find one resource, and it's not even what you're looking for. Next thing you know, and this has been me countless times, you spend 3 hours doing absolutely nothing and you get discouraged. And a lot of people can't even get by this first step by themselves. And now, why do they fail? It's because there's no clear direction. A foundation isn't created and none of it stacks because there's no clear why. Like, why is this important? Why will this help me serve businesses? Why will this help me make money? So here's how I look at it. Before doing anything as an AI integrator, you need a base understanding of how prompt engineering works. First, how do you write the prompts? So here's a sample template. So you have a pre-frame, a clear task, and a desired exact output along with an AI confirmation. Here's a sample optimized prompt for creating a step-by-step guide on how to learn Python or a programming language or how to set it up on your computer. You're an expert software engineer. You have you have extensive experience in helping teach people the basics of Python and writing very simple and clear code. You are tasked with creating a step by step guide for how to set up Python on a Mac or Windows laptop. The guide must include any necessary links along with any code snippets that will have to be ran on a user's machine. Is that understood? So the pre-frame, the clear task, and the desired output, and the AI confirmation. The pre-frame. So why are these all so important? The pre-frame basically, would you rather ask a random AI on the street, or would you rather ask an expert in the specific task that you're asking it about? That's what the pre-frame does. The clear task, you clearly want this. This is exactly what you want. And so that way you provide a clear directions and then you get an output. Exactly how you want it. Oh, I want it in a step-by-step guide with the necessary links. So the output is what I'm looking for. And then the confirmation, it's like, do you actually understand what I just asked? And these are all things that if you think like an executive, and this is what I tell a lot of people, where it's like, how would Steve Jobs ask an employee or a worker to complete a task? He'd be very specific. He'd give clear directions. He'd give a clear expected output, and then he would have them actually read it back to them so that he knows that they understood it. It's the same thing here. So with the right direction, this part can be quick, right? But this is basic and anyone can learn this. You'll have to go deeper to provide that deep value. And this is where prompting can actually be revolutionary. One of the favorite things I like to do is pulling in training data. So let's say you're creating YouTube titles for a client. ChatGPT is smart, but imagine that you could bring in titles from like Mr. Beast. So it gave it the proper direction. Remember, thing like an executive. Imagine you could coach the person to study Mr. Beast and then create titles just like them. Well, that's what you can actually do. So here's a sample of data of top YouTube titles from top accounts that could then be brought into ChatGPT to enhance this prompt for the client. So that's one of my favorite things, to get deeper and to go from good results to great results. Once you learn the basic skill, most people don't do this next step properly. And it's really because how we were taught growing up. And in school, this really annoyed me. We would learn a skill and then you just get like random homework or quizzes. And you'd be like, when will I actually use this in the real world? And often the teacher would just be like, well, whatever, later. When the fuck did I use geometry? Sine, cosine, tan? When have I used that? And that's the problem that we find a lot with like a lot of the content out there. So what value is learning the skill if you don't know how to actually use it or implement it? So to learn, you need to learn a foundation, and then you need to immediately put that skill to work. And not only that, the training needs to be something that has already been used in real life to help businesses make money and streamline the process. Actionable training to actionable events that can truly be used in the real world. So which would you rather? Read a long clickbait Twitter thread that's all hypothetical, or have a clear actionable lesson where the skills are tied directly into the real world and there is a training that lets you get hands-on and build things you can use immediately to help businesses. So when learning, make sure each concept you learn is immediately followed by a training. So let's say you're learning about prompt engineering. Don't create hypothetical solutions, create real world examples. So you are tasked with creating a generic prompt that can be used to write tweets for a top celebrity. For each, the training data has already been provided. It's not create a prompt that writes a story for you. It's you are tasked with creating a generic prompt that can be used to write tweets for a top celebrity. The difference should be clear, but to make it even more clear, this prompt that you're creating could literally be used for a social media marketing agency to help ghostwriting for clients. Like this can literally be used. So you're working on something and you're putting in the time and effort and you're like, whoa, I could actually go and sell this. And I just learned the skill. It's a win-win, a bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so you understand the basics of optimizing prompts and how to put it in practice. What are the other skills, right? There are other skills. You need to understand how to find and identify different AI solutions out there. In the early 2000s, programmers used computer code to make revolutionary tools that made people's lives easier and do jobs for people. The same is going on right now. Programmers are using LLMs, large language models, which is what we just learned about, ChatGPT, Bard, etc., to make tools that 99.99% of businesses don't even know exist. And just knowing this tool exists and it's out there can make all the difference. So here's just like a visual of like what's going on. So you have the data that's being fed into this foundational model. Let's call it ChatGPT. Then using this foundational model, there's a bunch of tasks that you can actually solve. So it's like question and answering, sentiment analysis, information extraction, object recognition, instruction file, etc. So there's a lot of things that can be done. What people are doing is they're making tools so that these tasks are that much easier for an end user to use. So that way businesses don't have to go here and create the adaptation themselves. Instead, they can go to the tools that are actually being built on top. So it's critical that you know how these tools function and how you can find them so that you aren't reinventing the wheel. So here's just like a sample list that we have of just different tools, and feel free to screenshot this, use this, whatever, but you can use it for writing, prompt inspiration, transcribing, image generation, speech creation, financial data, chatbots, and like the list goes on and on. So you need to know how to go out and find them. You need to know where to look at resources. You need to stay up to date. Taking a sip of the tea. So there are a host of tools and services out there that can be leveraged, that can make businesses money and save them time. So that's out there. But there's also things like Zapier, Notion, Typeform, Calendly, Make, Apollo, and all these other services that don't require any deep technical understanding. And if you know how to integrate these as well, you're going to be an even more valuable asset for any company. And as you're learning about all of these skills, you get the foundation. You need to be able to ask questions and get feedback. So it's critical when learning a skill. So, right, you get all these skills. You get this foundational skill. You start learning about the tools and how to integrate them. You start playing around with something like Apollo or Zapier or Notion. It's critical that you surround yourself with people who are learning the same things or are already experts in the industry so you can 10x your learning process. This is something that I wish I knew. If I did this to start, my life would have been so much better, because I would just spend hours and hours working on something that was just a dead end. And if I had somebody who knew the industry, I would have saved all of this time and just 10x my learning process. And so you can do this by joining a community that's learning about AI or collaborating with industry experts for direct feedback on what you're doing. So what are some of the key points in this first step? You want to get a baseline understanding of LLMs and how to prompt engineer. Then you want to build deeper skills on how to make the power of AI go from 1 to 10. So an example of this is using training data. Then you need to understand what's out there and how to find it. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Again, you don't always need AI. So none of these are AI. And most people won't actually tell you this. Like, you don't need AI for everything. There's like a host of other tools, right? Zapier, Notion, yada, yada, yada. You don't need to use AI for everything. Don't reinvent the wheel. Work smarter, not harder. So you don't always need AI. When learning skills, immediately apply them to the real world examples that can provide business value immediately. This will be able to make you tie that connection to why I'm learning this skill and why it's important. And then you'll understand it better. And then finally, join a community or collaborate with experts in the field to streamline your learning process. So let's go to number 2. You have this baseline understanding. Now you need to learn how to identify bottlenecks in businesses that can be solved with AI and automations. So AI is great and it's changing the world we live in, but how is it actually doing this? So when learning a skill, it's often very much in the weeds of the technical aspects, and it's not really going through what matters, like how it can actually help the business. And coming from corporate America, and I worked at a company with over 100,000 employees, I was just so constrained. So I didn't get to see how businesses actually operate. And I think for most people, it's hard to get a big picture of how these businesses work. And this point is pretty much always neglected when learning a skill. And when you're an AI integrator, you'll have to drop into a business and find ways AI and automated systems can be integrated. So this skill is maybe the most important, and people will never tell you this. So how can you do that? How can you drop into a business and find places that AI can be used or automated systems can be used and integrated? First, where can these bottlenecks and inefficiencies occur? That's remember that's the fundamental reason why an AI integrator is so valuable. You can improve the work being done and you can help the business save time in the process. So where can there be bottlenecks? And these are 6 examples that are great for just understanding the different ways a business can be bottlenecked. So machine. How does the technology, machinery, and tools work? An example of this, like a bottleneck. We only have one cell phone that posts on social media. All these examples, we're going to be talking about like a social media agency, but it extends. So that's the machine. Oh, we only have one cell phone. Oh, that's a bottleneck. Method. How is this process carried out? How is it being used? Is it manual? Is it automated? For example, all our video ideas are created from scratch. Also, I have to send invoices at the end of each month. Okay. Manpower. Who's involved in the process? Who's actually running it? Example, I do all of the script writing because I don't trust any writers or editors. Okay. Mother Nature. What is the environment like? When is it being ran? Are you reliant on a client? Example, client never remember to submit their content on time. Mother Nature. Measurement. How is success measured? Are people waiting for approval? Does this cause delays? Our analytics each month are manual and it takes me hours. Materials. How and what resources used? Are people waiting for approval? Does this cause delays? Our analytics each month are manual and it takes me hours. So these are just 6 ways that I've identified that bottlenecks can occur in a business. And this is just a specific example, but think about this. Like, oh, wow, I didn't even think about, right? Mother Nature. If you're a construction business and you can't work when it's raining, this is a clear bottleneck. Oh, so maybe we put a tarp over where we're working, right? That's a very physical example, but that should make you understand, okay, Mother Nature. Manpower, who's running it, right? So take notes on these, right? These are the 6 places that you're going to want to be looking to identify these issues. So with this understanding of where bottlenecks can happen, you need to understand what businesses do. Like, what does a business do? Every business needs to do the following. You need to get customers. So you need to find people and get them to pay. And then you need to fulfill services for customers. Provide them the services that they paid for. Successful businesses are not scams. Like, oh, this person, you need to fulfill things. So these are the 2 things you need to do. And now if you break both of these down, most businesses have pretty similar things that they have to get done. So if you know what questions to ask, you will be able to find where bottlenecks are. Let's write Amazon. How do they get customers? Oh, marketing, website, SEO, brand recognition, advertisements. They come on the website. They go through a sales funnel to buy the item, fulfill for a customer. They have to ship the product. They have to box it. They have to deliver it. They have to get it to their house. That's Amazon. A social media agency, right? They have to get the client. How do they get the client? How do they create the content for the client, right? All these things are important. So let's do a little role play, right? Once you understand the bottlenecks, you're going to have to take calls. So here's AI Integrator, Dan. Hey, John, can you tell me about your business? John. Yeah, so I run a marketing agency that helps people with short form content. Ignore my John impersonation. Oh, great. Can you walk me through your sales process? Also, no detail is too small. As part of working together, the more information I know, the better. This allows me to find bottlenecks and save you and your business time. Let's pause there. What did Dan do here? So can you walk me through your sales process? So this is an assumed close. Basically assuming that if we're going to be working together in the future, like we're going to be working together. It's not if we work together. So then in green, making it clear why this is important and why he's valuable. This allows me to find bottlenecks and save you and your business time. And it also, this is like a good thing, right? So this is just a little bonus tip here, but it gives John the idea that even if he doesn't get to work with you, he'll get some free alpha, right? You're on a call. It's like, oh, screw it. I might get some information with this person. So, and that's fine, right? Showing your value. But we're not really talking about this sales stuff right now. We're talking about finding bottlenecks. So then John says, oh, so we do cold email and I also create Instagram reels. Then when I get a prospect, I set up a call with them. After that, if they close, I send them an invoice and the contract. Then after payment, I send them onboarding information. Dan then says, okay, got it. Thank you. What about for fulfillment? Let's pause there. This is wrong. Dan, you are wrong. You are a failure, Dan. I'm sorry, Dan. But why is he wrong? Well, there's so much more information that can be gotten here. Everything I put in bold is an action that can be automated. You need to dive deeper when you're identifying these bottlenecks. So the cold email. How do you write the cold emails? How do you identify prospects to send to them? Do you personalize the emails at all? You need to get insight into this. Oh, how do you create your Instagram reels? Are you doing that all manually? Do you write scripts manually? Ideate manually? How are you handling posting? How do you set up a call? How do you make sure they show up? How are you sending the invoice and getting payment? Why isn't that combined with the contract? What does onboarding look like? What are the steps in this process? What tools do you use? We need more info on this. Basically, after this conversation, you're going to have to be like, with confidence, you're going to have to be like, okay, we can do A, B, C, and D. I think we can do E and F. But first, we'll have to do the first 4. And I'm going to have to learn more about your business so that I can confidently say E and F will help you save time. So this is an example. And by having a deep understanding of what is needed for a business to operate, you'll be able to find bottlenecks and implement solutions. It's really that easy. And you just need to understand how to ask questions. So the key points for identifying ways these skills can translate into business value. You need to understand the different types of bottlenecks in a business. You need to understand how businesses work to find these bottlenecks. Every business needs to get customers and fulfill for customers. If you ask the right questions, you'll be able to find bottlenecks immediately. Okay, so you have the skill. You now know how to find bottlenecks in the business. Go out and finding businesses that will pay you to solve their bottlenecks. You have the skills. You know when to use what and how they can be used. You know how to find bottlenecks in business. Now you need to get a client. Frankly, you won't really find this when learning a skill online. And the reason being is, generally speaking, people with technical skills can't do this that well, or a lot of them have actually never done it. And so what you have to do is you have to search all over the internet for getting clients, and most videos will be for far more outdated skills like online copywriting or how to get clients as a high ticket closer. It's not specific to what you're doing, and then suddenly a lot of the skills that you learn from that won't actually translate to what you're working on. So it's pretty simple. How do you get these people? You provide value to people showcasing your skills, and you close deals and deliver amazing results. And each step is straightforward. So provide value to people showcasing your skills. There are billions of people on the internet. If you provide valuable insight to people, you will be able to get clients. So how can this be done? Creating content, cold email, sending custom looms, Instagram DMs, LinkedIn messages, networking events. You have a skill that is in high demand. Provide value and people will come back asking for more, right? Just to showcase this, I was like, screw it. Here's a screenshot of an example. This is the Morning Brew CEO. Guy is worth millions. I spent 1 hour in the morning building something out for him. And suddenly we're speaking about AI integration. This is just a classic Monday morning. Now, once they're on your radar, it's all about closing deals and delivering amazing results. So in this, right, I just made an automated thing. I just showcased my skill. It's like, holy smokes, just showcasing people. And you can do this across all these different channels. Make the custom, like this works. This is juice. Close deals and deliver amazing results. There's a lot of easy things you can do to close more deals. And a lot of these things you'll actually pick up when learning the skills to become an AI integrator. So here are a few. Set up a Calendly for booking calls that reminds people when the call is happening to decrease no-show. Integrate a call recorder so you can break down sales calls and continuously improve. Create a one-click funnel so that people can pay and get onboarded into your ecosystem seamlessly, reducing the time from payment to getting value, leading to more satisfied customers. The tighter that can be, the better their experience will be, because their first impressions matter. So now it's about delivering amazing results. And this is the easy part. And this system took me legit 2 years to figure out. And you're going to be like, this is so simple, but I wish it was as simple as, or I wish I was able to find this quickly. Every build has 3 steps. You have to identify a potential solution. You have to build a quick proof of concept, a POC, then polish to make it reusable and production ready. And it's critical that you get these right. For identifying a potential solution, you want to find things that are low effort and high time saving. This way you can allocate your time to the biggest ROI things as early as possible. So here's just, right? Low time saving, low effort. Okay. High time saving, low effort. That's perfect. That's where you want to be. Don't wait with this. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to use this later. No, don't wait. If you have an ace, use it. After you identify a potential solution, you need to build a proof of concept or a POC. Part of this POC, you should bucket each deliverable into 2 categories: must-haves and nice-to-haves, where all must-haves are exactly that. You must have it. And the nice-haves are exactly that. Nice to haves. Once you know this, you need to ask yourself this. And this is super important because this is how you can go from 5K months to 50K months without doing a ton of extra work. So like ask yourself, have I already solved this problem? If so, can I reuse that solution I already built? People neglect this, but this is the most powerful thing about AI and tech. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Reuse what you've already built if you can. You will save time, make more money, and the client will have no idea. Once you finish building the POC, you then need to polish it so it's reusable and provides value to the client. And here's something a lot of people won't tell you. If a client asks for A and B, and you know adding C will make it better, but they aren't paying you for it, still deliver it. This will lead to the customer being more happy. It's like, oh wow, I didn't even ask for this. Thank you. So happy customer means a client testimonial, means more clients, means more money. So what are the key takeaways? When getting the clients, provide value to people and they'll come crawling to you. Make the sales funnel optimized using the skills you already have. And then go through a battle-tested build process to streamline results. So identify the solution, make a quick POC, build the must-haves first, because this is what you must have. If you're building a one-click onboarding funnel that requires you to add them to Slack, you build that, they're added to Slack, right? Adding to Slack is a must-have. A nice-to-have is sending them a welcome message. Who gives a shit if you can send them a welcome message if when they're added, they're not even added to Slack in the automation? Like that wasn't even built out, right? So identify the must-haves and then polish it and make it reusable. You don't want to know what happens after you get the skills and deliver results for clients? You're going to fall in love with building things and making money. It's fire. Like, you'll find yourself playing music of your choice, building out automated solutions, and finding real value in what you're doing. It's not all about making money. Making an impact is important. Making money is also nice. Not only that, you build something for one client, and then the next asks for the same thing. You have one client, they need this. The next client, they're like, oh, I have this problem. It's like, well, I literally just did that. You literally have to copy and paste something, and you get paid as if you built it from scratch. That's why tech and AI is so powerful. It has insane leverage. And you'll be helping these businesses so much that they'll want you to continue to build out things for them to help streamline their process. And after each successful client, you'll increase your ability to get more and more. Now, when you see videos about AI, you won't think, oh, fuck, I'm screwed. You'll think, how can I leverage this tool to make more money? And that is also priceless. So many people right now are seeing like AI videos and like, oh man, my job's screwed. They're sitting back and they're scared. But now you won't be. You'll be like, wait, that tool is awesome. I can actually use that for this client. This is going to be more and more valuable as AI starts taking jobs. You're going to be able to capitalize. So this is how powerful this skill gets when it's learned properly, intentionally, and the nuance behind every topic is fundamentally understood. Now that you understand exactly how this process works, I have an offer for you. If you're tired of working 9 to 5 and want to become your own boss, tired of trying washed out business models like dropshipping, Amazon FBA, etc. You know the list. If you're someone who wants to get ahead of the crowd and capitalize on the AI revolution, if you're scared of AI taking your job and you don't want to sit around and just wait for that to happen, and you're ready to learn the skills needed to become an in-demand remote AI integrator, take advantage of this once in a generational opportunity that AI has provided, and you're ready to acquire the most valuable skills in the new era of the internet, and you want to make 5 to 15K a month as a remote AI integrator in 90 days or less without having any previous technical skills or knowledge, I've built out an entire program called the AI Academy so you can replicate the exact process for you and you can see similar results in less than half the time it would take for you to do it on your own. With the right help, building tools like these and getting paid like this will be easy and straightforward. If you want to see similar results and want the same system/processes, hit the first link in the description and book a call to get a walkthrough of how the program works. And if it's a good fit, we can talk about how you can get started. Worst case scenario, if it isn't a good fit, I'll point you in the right direction. I'm looking forward to speaking to you soon. I hope you enjoyed that step-by-step tutorial on how to become a remote AI integrator and make 5 to 15K a month in 90 days or less. If you'd like to see the systems and you'd like to look more into the AI Academy where we go through this step-by-step and you can reproduce these exact results, make sure to click the first link in the description below. And yeah, at worst, you'll get to learn a little bit more and get some more insight. But if we both decide that it makes sense to take the next steps, we'll go from there. So click that link in the description. Thank you for watching. Thank you for getting this far. If you are this far, then you're ready to take advantage. So I'm excited to have a conversation. Peace.